Hey guys, welcome to the weekly tarot forecast for the numinous week beginning June the 24th. I am Lindsay Mack, and the card that I've pulled for us this week is Serenity, or the Hermit card. We got a big week coming up. We're still in kind of the ephemeral shadow of the solstice and the full moon. We are moving out of Mars retrograde, which we have been in for months. It's ending on the 29th, so we will still be in the energy of the Serenity / Hermit card when that ends and starts to go direct. So the Hermit card is really important for us this week. Really important. Not a foreboding important. Important for precisely the name that it was given in the Star Child Tarot deck, which is the deck we're using. Important for our peace, for our serenity. There's very much something in the energy of this card this week about honoring. That's what I've channeled about it. So this idea of honoring, the honoring of transitions is something that is not held up in our culture. It's just not. And moving into that is going to be a really big part of the new paradigm. A lot of the time, we're given what we need, even though we don't think we need it. And the Hermit is exactly that teacher. So whenever we get this card, immediately understand that we are wrapped up in the energy of something, A, that's bigger than us, that's part of the macrocosm, and B, is working in such a way to slow us down and get us to honor divine timing, to get us to honor the medicine of transitions, to get us to honor and learn. I'm going to use that word, really learn what it is to pause. What it is to pause, P-A-U-S-E. What is it to pause? Pausing when we really want to move and act is an act of deep trust. It's an act of trust that we cannot miss what we're meant to have. We cannot, and I'm saying we cannot. The mind and the ego will tell you differently, right? The insecurity that we move through. And by the way, everybody goes through this. I go through this. This is a part of the work, is the consistent willingness to pause and go, okay, whoa. There is a huge energy in me that's saying, go, move, do this, take this move. Do this thing, take this action. If it's not in front of you, immediately available, if it's not really smooth and graceful, just hang out. Just hang out. This is such an important energy. And by the way, the Hermit, as a tarot reader, is the card I see the most often reversed. We don't have it reversed today, but it's a very powerful invitation to pause when we want to move. The reason that this is important, and the reason why I often see it reversed, is because there's such a natural, absolutely appropriate instinct to resist that. To say, I know it's true. I know I have to move. I have to move. I want to move. I'm going to do this. If you attempt to take action in the Hermit card, there's no disaster that's going to befall you. It's just going to be wildly inconvenient. It'll be not quite synced up with the divine timing. The medicine of the why we're in Hermit this week is twofold. The first is that we're learning really strongly in the collective that we can't get. I'm using that word get. It's a little egoic, but we can't receive. That's better. We can't receive what we're really meant to have unless we're able to allow it to come in. We don't have to make it, strategize, figure out, claw our way to it. All that shit is done. So if you're still in that mindset, you need this card more than anyone. And that's cool. You can be a very spiritual person and be egoic. Consider a shift this week. So that's the first thing. Opening ourselves so that we can receive even more easily, with even more grace. That's so important because the energy is intense. And it doesn't make sense for us to be super burned out and believing that we have some control over that aspect, because we don't. We can be available and spontaneous and healthy. We can be willing to work really hard for what is most aligned for us. But this concept of kind of clawing and strategizing, it's over. And the Hermit's helping with that. The second reason why it's here right now is that aspect that I mentioned of honoring transitions. This Mars retrograde was no joke. It's completely rewiring us in the area that I was just talking about. How we take action, how we approach things. And for those of us, if our Mars is really, really strong in our chart, it's been a really intense transition. You can't go backward after this. You can't. None of us can. So if there isn't a trust that hanging out and pausing is safe, Hermit is your teacher this week. And I think every one of us can benefit from that. So for this week, hang tight, pause. Anytime you really want to move forward, take action, figure it out, do it, pause. Go above the brain chemistry. Really move into this place where you're willing to go within and access your wisest teacher. The voice in you that knows that you don't ever have to rush. We don't ever have to rush for what is meant for us. We will always have the perfect timing, the perfect date, the perfect situation planned for us to step right into it. The question is, are we willing to do that with ease and grace, with respect to our nervous systems, honoring the transitions, whatever transition might be arising in us, honoring divine timing, or are we willing to force it, to make it harder? The Hermit will not force us to pause. It is up to us. So my advice to you, take the invitation, pause, and see what comes from there. As always, it's been a pleasure, and I look forward to connecting with you next week. Take care.